Over the years, there's been a lot of efforts by the government and non-governmental organizations to eradicate the menace called polio. WHO says approximately 99.9% of polio eradication has been successful all over the world and in Nigeria. Now, the question is, what happens to polio survivors? What is their story? What are their challenges? And then I ask you, have you heard about post-polio syndrome? All this will be brought to you on Against All Odds today. It's collaborating with the Rotary Club of Abuja Sapphire to bring this program right to your doorstep. My name is Toshima Pius Ikiravi. We will be back shortly.
This is Against All Odds.
To mark the World Polio Day, the Rotary Club of Abuja Sapphire brought together polio survivors from within and outside Abuja, medical experts, to create awareness on the virus polio.
Polio is a virus. It's a virus caused by polio virus. An enteric virus, enteric in the name, meaning that it mostly strikes in the stomach, the GI region. That's the stomach, the intestine. So now, this virus was actually the dreaded virus as at that time. Although now there are global efforts that have been placed in order to eradicate it, of which Rotary Club is also a partner to it. So it can actually be gotten from person to person. It can actually be gotten, like I said, from contaminated environments, swimming pools, and areas of poor sanitations.
It's not all persons that have the polio virus that manifest the infection. About 95% is inapparent. They are just carriers. You won't see anything. They are just normal individuals going about their businesses. The only thing is that they are carriers. By the time they start shedding the virus, they are, dishing it out to everybody, dashing this one, dash this one, dash this one, dash this one. That's what they do. So you won't see anything. They look normal. They appear normal. They are doing fine, living their lives. That's the first presentation. Then the second presentation is the abortive type. That one accounts for about 5% of the individuals. They don't really show much, just some minor symptoms, abdominal pain, some small body weakness, maybe light headaches or fever, nothing serious. And then you now have the non-paralytic type, which accounts for about 1%. They come down with more severe headaches, more abdominal pains, more weakness, but they usually recover. They do fine, they go home after a while, after some treatment, they do fine. Then the 0.1% is the one that we usually see. That's the pictures that you see around of polio and everything like that. Yes, and that one is so common in developing countries. Why? Because of our poor environmental hygiene, where all those things happen. So you see it more commonly, and it accounts for about just 0.1%. They usually come down with the paralysis that we get to see. That's the more severe symptoms. But it's a good thing to note that the white type polio, like she mentioned, has been eradicated as of 2020, but the complications still remain. And one of the complications is the post-polio syndrome. That's the one I'm going to be talking about. That post-polio syndrome usually manifests with weakness, especially amongst people that had maybe the non-paralytic type that recovered and went home and everything was fine. And in some individuals that had the paralytic type, at a point they start feeling maybe the pain, the weakness, It's just that the paralysis is there. But over time, about 15 to 40 years later, they now start manifesting the post-polio syndrome. That's increasing pain, worsening of the weakness. What is the cause of this? Nobody can really pinpoint what the cause is. But there are some theories that have been hypothesized. There are 3 theories, but the most widely accepted theory is the neural fatigue theory. What do we mean by neural fatigue? The neurons that usually supply some of this muscle, because of the affectation by the polio virus, they are destroyed. So other neurons, in a bid to compensate for the ones that are destroyed, they now start working as if, okay, like what is happening in Nigeria, all this Japan syndrome, people are jackpying, other people are left with the work to now keep doing the work, nobody is replacing them. So, you are overtaxing people, they are working more. At the end of the day, they become burnout. They start, getting fatigued, getting tired, and all those things. So that's what happens with the remaining neurons. They get fatigued, they get tired. They overgrow their nutrient supply. The supply of nutrients to them, they overgrow it. So at a point, they now start dying because of the excess work that they've been placed under. So that's when you now start seeing the symptoms, the increasing weakness, the tiredness, the pains that usually come across.
At the gathering was a polio survivor who shared her experience with post-polio syndrome.
In a later life, what you have shared started to manifest, okay? I have lived with it for more than 45 years now. So it started to manifest. Just like 2 months ago, I had pains all over, from my neck down, and my hand was swollen. And I was asking, what is this? We didn't know what. Right? My husband is around. We had to rush to the hospital. And when I got to the hospital, they said it can either be 2 things. It's either it's infection or it's tissue. It's something to do with tissue. They did all that they could do. And in the end, they said, no, it's not infection. You are clean. Okay, we go for scan. That was when they found out that it's tissue fragmentation. That's what they called it. And I was asking. I said, okay, what's this? They didn't give me anything. But I have in that congregation of women like this, we have lost 3 of women because our own is focused on women and girls with disabilities. So 3 of them have passed on. That gave me time to research. And I started to research. And I found out that there's something called post-polio syndrome, which is what you mentioned. And it has something to do with the tissue, the bones, and the muscles. Yes. And I said, wow. It's time, especially as we are growing old, that we begin to look at managing our situation. That is why Rotary is very key to us, because I know that Rotary has been doing a lot in the area of polio. And when I heard, I said, okay, this is another way for us to have a collective so that we can promote post-polio syndrome. Because many people are dying, they'll just start having pains. And it's boys and guys, thank you so much for the enlightenment. Now it's sunk in, and I'm beginning to think of a way out. It is time for us to start looking at advocating and managing our situation as per polio survivors.
The event did not just end without putting smiles on the faces of survivors. What is World Polio Day without mobility? And so the president, Rotary Club of Abuja Sapphire, Rotarian Dr. Patrick Orama, extended a hand of fellowship to the survivors by giving them independence, mobility, confidence, and a right to freedom. Ten wheelchairs were given to survivors. The highlight of the event was the giving of a wheelchair to a 17-year-old student in Kuje whose foster parents represented. Their story was heart-stirring.
So she now said, no, that her spirit is disturbing her, so she now give her permission to go and take that book. She went and kept the board in my house. So when I came back, I saw the board. So as I saw the boy, in fact, I was restless. I said, even though I am not, God is going to take control. He will make the provision for everything. We thank God that the experience is part of experience as a human being. Because it's the same God that created everybody. He has no different God, it's the same God. So abandoning him to die is not good. So we now join them. So I will go to home, my wife will be taking care of two of them. Me and my daughter. So it was since 2011. The boy has left with us.
That my daughter, there was almost 7 years without working. After when I brought that boy to my house, because I used to carry my baby to one private school close by. So after when I brought that boy, a day like that, I prepared for them my little daughter to go to school, to carry her to school. After when I carry her to school, they closed around 2 o'clock. I said, okay, let me go and carry her, as I always go and carry her back home. So when I went to the school, I hear people are shouting, screaming, as dear, I fainted. I thought that maybe she's dead. When I came back, I get myself back. Then I told me that my daughter had already checked her basket with her bag. She's already gone home by herself. I did not carry her to anywhere. That's how the miracle of that my daughter came. And I can't go last year. Where we are even staying, they demolished our house there. So we now found ourselves in Massacre. This one woman that saw me there with 2 of them said, mommy, with this heavy load on your head. So that's how I see myself. She said, I will help you. Maybe they will get admission for them in Kuje special school. I said, okay, if you can help me like that, I will appreciate you. And that's how the woman tried. And both of them now, they are in the school in Kuje with that boy. With the boy, I pray, even when I brought that boy, I was sick for good 4 years. I didn't even know that I will survive. But many revelations, when I was in the hospital, admitted in the hospital, many revelations keep on coming. I will show person with white blood. You come and say, because of that child, you will not die, you will survive. And that's how God healed me for good 4 years. And anybody that came to my house to visit, they will saw the boy crying, weeping. They said, if this mommy died, I don't think nobody will agree to take me again. And crying to God that so that God will help me, so that this my mommy will not pass on. So thank God for everything. God healed me. I have said this, I have chest pain because I don't have more strength like before. Carrying him to toilet, carrying him back. But I thank God, the challenge has come to an end.
Rotarian Dr. Patrick Orama did not just stop at giving this parent a wheelchair, but also supported the education of the boy.
There is ability and disability. That's not the end of the world. Like you can hear, the lady that brought them here told you her story all the way. Today, she was able to go to school. Today, she's able to open up an NGO to take care of the initiative for those who are living with disabilities. So what I message that they have to be courageous. They have to know it's not the end of the world. Just like Rotary is doing, it is very important that all Nigerians with means should put hands together to fight not only polio, but both persons living with disabilities, because they can be useful to the country in one way or the other.
With fulfillment in his heart and the entire club members, they expressed their joy. The eradication of polio is on high gear, but the complications of polio should be looked closely into. The pains and challenges are real.
It has not been easy for me all this while, because I was born like this, and at the time I wanted to be discouraged. When I was growing up, I went for surgery, and the surgery was not effective. So I started, that made me lose a lot of things in life. I was at first saying to myself that does it mean I won't have a place in life? Because at the time, as I was growing, at the time I was just stunted. I didn't know where to go. I was just indoor. I wasn't going anywhere. Sometimes even when I was in school, I would be falling down, walking. Just like that, it was not easy. At the time I had to stop school. I didn't go. I was just indoor. I didn't go nowhere. But with time, I started wondering, is this how life? I'll be in life and life will be like this to me. In fact, it was not easy for me. But I had to just pick up courage later. I picked up courage and then start forging ahead. But then with that, it has not really been easy because I've been feeling pains. Anytime I move out, it has been pain. So sometimes I just stay back. I don't move anywhere. I just stay back and then console myself. That has been what I've been going through for the moment, because sometimes I just feel like taking medication is not much more easier. But I just stay put and just still put my trust in God that someday help will come my way. And I thank God that help has come my way. I want to really appreciate God for this cause. Thank you.
And it has not been easy. It has not been easy as a polio survivor, living with this kind of challenges for over 30 years now. I have suffered discrimination. I have been stagnated. My education has been delayed. My education was delayed a lot, but I thank God that God came through for me. I thank God for my mother because it was not easy. It was not easy for her backing me to school to and fro right from childhood. It was not really easy. And as a polio survivor, we face a lot of challenges, especially in transportation. So many taxi men, they wouldn't want to carry us because of our condition. So, but I thank God for today, for Rotary Club of Safari, for their kind gesture, for extending this kind of help. At least it will enable our mobility. When you think of where to go and you discover that you are limited, you cannot access some certain area due to mobility. Honestly, it's so challenging. But I thank God, and as a person living with polio, there is nothing that every other person can achieve that you cannot achieve. I just want to say thank you very much for this project. May the Almighty God replenish you where you got it from.
My story is very pathetic anyway, probably because of the environment where I was coming from. I grew up in a rural area where there was little or no any knowledge about health or prevention of any kind of diseases. We just grew up in such an environment. I was a vibrant young boy and very healthy, moving about, full of energy until one night actually, according to what I was told, one night after playing with all my mates, one night I went to bed and could not sleep. According to the story, throughout the night I couldn't sleep, only for me to feel a little fever in the morning, and I was taken to nearby dispensaries. In those days, primary health were called dispensaries. And then when I got there, just like every other person's story, I was given an injection. And then before my mom will walk from that place to back home, It was just within few hours from where I was injected to hook up to our where we were, and then she backed me. And when she came back, loosed me from the back because I was giving injection, loosed me from the back and wanted me to stand. I couldn't stand again. She put me, I felt she just felt it was as a result of the pain from the injection, but that was the story. And that was how it ended. And being in the rural areas, no further medical um, examination or checks were given, rather than falling back to traditional treatment, which finally it resulted in me remaining a challenge till death. I I went through life very very difficult times. The life was so difficult because I have ignorant parents who were not educated, not enlightened, so it was difficult. We were abandoned, and then, in fact, I was told not to go to school. But thank God for I went to school through heads, organizations like such as it. That is why I always appreciate those who come out to assist persons with disabilities, because they don't know the kind of work they are doing. They are doing very marvelous jobs because um, most people cannot help themselves, and most parents always easily give up when such things happen. So I want to thank everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. God bless you all.
I wanted to rush her out because she was a year plus. She couldn't walk again. She was crawling, just like every story she was telling, I was shaking. The same thing she said here, she was like that for another a year and 9 months. One day I was eating meat. She was not saying, "Mommy, give me the as if you cannot come and take it. Forget it." She just do bang, 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 bang. That was how she started walking. To the glory of God, she's not crippled, but then she lives. And I'm happy she was able to achieve everything in life. She went to school successfully, got married, gave birth to 2 sons. The other ones are just to the glory of God. So, in every situation, like you say, I had my sister, you say his story. God helped you. At least you were able to go to school. You can read, you can write, you can speak good English. In every situation, let us not just say it is finished. Yes. There is ability in disability. Yes. Our life, God has known that this kind of thing will happen. And if we lose hope, that is when we are all living.
All of us, polio survivors, we want to say, and of course, my boy who couldn't come all the way from Abuja, and on behalf of the parents who came, I want to say a big thank you, a very big, huge thank you to Rotary Club, to our president, our madam that is here, for such a wonderful, in fact, I wasn't even expecting this. We just want to say thank you. You have added to our support for our lives. And what we do in our organization is we advocate. This is another form of advocacy. Absolutely. And this is another form of awareness. It's a big thing that you have done for us today, adding value to our mobility, that enable us to move from one place to another. And that means a lot for us, because this wheelchair, we build our confidence, because it gives us boldness to be able to move around. And that is what you have been able to do. What can we say except to say thank you for what you have done for us? We can't say much. We say that the good Lord will continue to bless you and to continue to give you all that you need. Where you got the resources to do this, you will get it 100-fold. In Jesus' mighty name. And for this, my son that couldn't come, I was once a child. I know how my parents suffered. For me. So they are foster parents to even think of adopting a polio survivor. Thank you so much.
Government and non-governmental organizations should turn the headlights and begin to ask the questions after the eradication, what next? It was a night of joy and fulfillment as smiles, laughter, and congratulations filled the air. Happy World Polio Day to all polio survivors. You're strong, you're loved and dependable. Keep moving, no halt. The sky is your starting point. But the complications of polio should be looked closely into. The pains and challenges are real.
This is Against All Odds.
The World Polio Day 2025 must have come and gone. But one thing is sure, that the faces of those people who today actually got mobility, freedom to move on their own through the donation of wheelchairs and a little bit of empowerment is something they will not forget in a hurry. Kindness is something that goes very deep into the heart, and it's not a gesture that is forgotten easily. And I join my voices with them to say thank you to the Rotary Club of Sophia, Abuja, for giving them independence. Because when you give a man mobility, you give him independence. And so we say thank you for giving them independence. And you, thank you for always staying with us on the program Against All Odds. Let's do this again next week. My name is Doshima Pius Ikiravi. Bye.
Thank you.